Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we will focus on how to run the Gridsmoother in GridPro from a terminal. GridPro GUI is designed to ease the block creation process. However, once a blocking is created, one can launch the grid generation process via command line terminal. This way, the user does not have to reopen the GUI to run the grid generator. This flexibility can offer many advantages. 1. Automate repetitive running of grid generation process. Second, integrating it with another software. Third, easily fine-tune and control specific parameters of grid generation. Fourth, GridPro can be executed remotely or on machines without GUIs. How to run the grid generator? The first step is to navigate to the working directory where the files are stored. The second step is to start a command line prompt or a terminal in the given folder. The command line command for the Gridsmoother is grid. When we type the command and execute by pressing enter, the options, syntax, and the help will be displayed. To execute the process, we need to pass in the valid blocking file to start the smoothing process. The blocking file, that is the topology file which is saved from the GUI, is always saved with the extension .fra. The syntax to execute the command is grid space topology file name. For example, I have run the grid for the blocking file topology.fra by typing grid topology.fra, where we have a valid topology for the centrifugal compressor, as you can see in the GUI. By default, the Gridsmoother runs for 100,000 sweeps. This can be controlled by an additional file which we will discuss in the next section. For now, you can kill the process by using Ctrl+C on the keyboard. Be sure to kill the process after the grid file is written. Controlling the grid generation parameters. In this video, we will look at controlling three major parameters. First, number of sweeps the Gridsmoother has to run. Second, at what interval the grid file has to be written. Third, name of the grid file where the grid will be saved. All these parameters can be controlled by a file called schedule file. If there is no schedule file in the working directory, GridPro automatically creates one with the default values. When the grid generation process is started, the grid generator looks for a schedule file which has the same name as the blocking file. For example, if the input file is topology.fra, it will look for a topology.sh file. If the file is not found, it creates one with all the default parameters. The default parameters are total number of sweeps are 100,000, grid output interval is every 100 sweeps, default grid file name is plk.tmp. The schedule file can be used to control many parameters which will be discussed in the later video. However, if you would like to know them, you can refer to the Appendix C of GridPro GUI manual. An example explaining the usage of grid schedule file can be found in the linked video. We will discuss on the parameters to be changed to 1. Stop the grid generator at 500 sweeps. 2. Change the grid file name to topology.tmp. To stop the grid generator at 500 sweeps, we can change the 10,000 to 5. The total number of sweeps is calculated by multiplying it with the output frequency. In this case, we can keep it as the default of 100 sweeps. The default output file name for the grid is blk.tmp, which we will change to the topology.tmp. Now we can execute the command for the grid generation and smoothing. The number of sweeps is the iterations the Gridsmoother has run and is shown by the number after the SWP in the terminal. The grid generator writes out the file after every 100 sweeps and finally stops at 500 sweeps. To view the grid, we can load it in the GUI by typing ws space topology.tmp. We can check the quality from the GUI using quality button. We will look at how to monitor the quality from the terminal in next week's video. We hope this video has helped you understand how to access the GridPro grid generation process from the terminal to automate your workflow.